Number 2 versus number 3 in the AP poll square off in this classic Big Ten in conference matchup. Ohio State traveling to Oregon with the game that has been circled on everyone's calendar since the spring, whenever the calendars got released. Both these teams and the whole college football world have been circling this game and cannot wait for this game. Both teams are in a pretty similar position where they haven't really been tested and pushed to the max. Now, you can look at the Oregon and Boise State game where that was a nail biter and Oregon State ended up squeaking out a win there. But Boise State has been the stiffest competition that Oregon has faced so far. And for Ohio State, their toughest competition has probably been Iowa. But neither of those teams can really push these teams to their maximum potential and get the clash that they're really wanting for. So there's a lot that we haven't learned yet from both of these teams, and we'll see it a lot on the field this Saturday. So let's break down the game a little bit, and we'll start with the home team, Oregon. So Oregon, they have their offensive line has looked really strong so far. Like at the beginning of the season, they looked weak and because they were missing a lot of guys. But since they've gotten some dudes back, their offensive line has looked much better. Now, obviously, there's concerns about depth there. If you get one of these dudes injured on the offensive line during this game, like that is really concerning for them. So they need to make sure that their line stays really healthy because the Ohio State defensive line can really get after you. Like they also have some dudes up there, but Oregon's offensive line, when fully healthy, which I think they will be for this game, they can hold their own. So they look pretty good so far. Now, receivers, you got obviously Tez Johnson here. He's looked really good. And with Dillon Gabriel back there, you know he's pretty reliable. But the one thing I'm curious about Dillon Gabriel this year is his throws, he's not really throwing down the field all that much. And now everyone knows that his arm strength really isn't all that impressive. But he's had a lot of throws for a lot of his games that are throwing to like 10 yards and under, 5 yards and under, like behind the line of scrimmage type throws. And that's been how they've been able to move their offense. And they've really relied on their offensive line to push bodies around. So can they do that against this Ohio State defense that is elite? And I think it's fair, even though they haven't played a competition that has really pushed them, I think it's fair to say that this defense is elite. They have 5 stars, 4 stars loaded all over the field here. And they brought a lot of guys back who could have gone to the draft last year. So can their offensive line push around these guys and take control of the game? Now, I was really impressed with what Oregon had put together against Michigan State last Friday night. Now, it was only Michigan State, but Michigan State could not do anything, really, on both sides of the ball. Like the lines of scrimmage for Oregon on both sides of the ball against Michigan State, when they were fully healthy, they looked awesome. And they looked like they can move around anybody. So that's going to be the key matchup that I'm going to be looking for in this game is the lines of scrimmage. Now let's flip it to Ohio State. You got Quinshon Judkins coming into this program from Ole Miss, who was the leading rusher in the SEC last year. Now they're kind of splitting carries with him and TreVeyon Henderson in that two-headed monster in a backfield. Like you have weapons in the backfield. You have all the weapons you need at receiver between Emeka Egbuka and freshman star standout Jeremiah Smith. So can Will Howard get the ball to these receivers with the pressure that Oregon's D-line will be bringing them? We'll see, because the Ohio State's offensive line has not really been tested the way that they will be tested in this game with the Oregon State defensive line. Will Howard will probably have a lot more running in this game than he has previously today. I think Chip Kelly will scheme up some runs for Will Howard to get the ball moving downfield for him. And I think they want to open up. Be a balanced and open up the passing game for them for this game as well. So I think that this game is moved down to Oregon -3 in Autzen. Like this atmosphere is going to be crazy. It's going to be electric. Oregon's really going to want to rely on their home field advantage. But honestly, I think this is the game where Ohio State is going to plant the flag in college football and say, we're the number 1 team. We're the team to beat. You ain't going to mess around with us this year. Like, we are serious. So give me Ohio State -3. I think they cover comfortably, but I am really excited to watch this game. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.